Let's talk about a guy, Francisco Lindor, the hero once again today. An incredible home run to get the Mets into the postseason. An MVP season, of course, for Lindor. And that moment today was special, clearly. Where does it put him in Mets lore?
Well, Sal, we're looking at a sensational player who had his sort of true Met moment now. I mean, this is one of the greatest swings of the bat in Met history. I was trying to think of, like, something else to compare it to, and I'm not sure that there is a moment like this in the team's lore already, because if you look at some other things like, I don't know, the Wilmer cry after he was crying on the field, home run, I mean, that's a great thing, but it didn't put anybody in the playoffs. It did get something great started, as TC will attest. But what Lenny Dykstra hit a walk-off homer in the World Series. Piazza's 921 homer after September 11th is an incredible moment as well. But this is like a guy at the height of his powers, hitting one out and propelling the Mets into the playoffs. I mean, that's, add that to all the narrative that he's got going on with his season in terms of calling the players' meeting that got the team going as well earlier this season. I mean, this guy is building some resume here, Sal.
Yeah, I think that story is still to be told, right, for him. Like, this is an unbelievable game, unbelievable moment. The one stood out to me was game 163 when Alfonso hit the home run against the Cincinnati Reds, got us off to a start. We end up winning that game. We go on, and then he hit another one in the postseason. I feel like, for regular season, that would be up there. But even the full season, like Piazza's 2000 season, there was moments that entire year that he carried us that year. Beltran in 2006, that was an unbelievable season for him, just like Lindor has been here. Lindor's might be better from an individual basis on the season than either of those two. So it's certainly going to be up there and then you throw on top of the fact that what this meant today, getting them into the postseason.
The combination of the season that he's had, the player he has been, I know he hasn't been, superstar in every year since he's been in Met, but he's been pretty darn good the last couple. This year, MVP, like that moment in this season to get them to the postseason against that team in that ballpark, that's as good as a moment as I've ever seen. I'm 45. I loved Mike Piazza and every moment he provided. That was as good as any of those. TC, can a moment like that spark a long postseason run?
Without a question. Without a question. There are special things that happen when you're making a run of things that all of a sudden everybody buys in, and everybody is a part of it. And that swing he took today got him in the playoffs, and I'm going to tell you, there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to be ready to play tomorrow.
And remember, like, there was a point earlier in this year where fans had to go out there and cheer Lindor because he was struggling. He heard the boos since he's been here. That type of moment, he's now boo-proof as far as I'm concerned. Francisco Lindor could do no wrong. Jim, how far can he carry Lindor? Can he carry this team?
Well, if you look, and I've been in the postseason now the last dozen years, and the good teams have the star players, and the star players are usually what carries them in the postseason, whether that is Carlos Correa, whether it's Mookie Betts. We'll see what Ohtani does out in L.A. He's never been there. Because he's had good, it hasn't had a supporting crew. But Lindor, the way he's playing now. Now, Friday, if you watched him, you're like, they're not going anywhere. He doesn't look like he can even post because of that back. And somehow he has miraculously figured out a way to get that treatment and be able to play every day, running, stealing bases, and playing defense. So this guy, he's a difference maker in that regard.
To me, guys, it was from a Mets perspective, it was such a relief when they got that big inning going to come back, because Lindor didn't have to do it all by himself there, because there's been a real feel that if he wasn't going to do it, they might not get it done. And then, of course, he ultimately had the big blow in the game. But, the offense sort of sagged a little at the beginning of this game here, Sal. And, you were waiting for if Lindor can do something, and then everybody got something going, and then he capped it.
What an unbelievable. I saw it with my own eyes. I still don't even believe it was real.